Now that we have seen how to create a comparator with a lambda expression, our next task will be to use the inbuilt method comparing which has been provided in comparators. It is a static method and it is defined like this. Let me show you the API from the Java docs itself, official Java docs. So this is the comparing method. Let's go to this method now. So the comparing method takes as input a function which it has named as key extractor. Now, what is the purpose of this comparing function, comparing method? It takes as input a function functional interface takes an input of a particular type and converts it into another type. Now, this case, in the case of comparing method, what we need actually is a function which extracts a sort key from a given object. So in our case, it's an employee object and the sort key is name because we want to sort the employee list by name attribute. So in that case, what we will do is we will use the comparing method like this. Let me show you. So we say comparator dot comparing. We use the auto suggested one and it comes to, so now we have to define a function. So as you know, a function can be defined using a lambda expression. So I am going to use a lambda expression which says employee emp, which gives me back employee name as output. I give employee as an input object and I get back that employee's name, which is nothing but my sort key, like this. I need to add one ground bracket to make it complete. Yeah. So now our comparing method has a function as input which is defined using a lambda expression which takes an employee as in object as input and returns that employee's name as the output or the sort key. Now let's run this method. As you can see, the output is exactly what we had expected and what we had obtained when we use directly a lambda expression or even the Java 7 way of comparison. So this method of creating a comparator instance using the comparing method gave us an employee name comparator which we used to sort the employee list. Now instead of writing this lambda expression, as you can see, this is a very straightforward case for a employee.getName method reference. So what we will do is we will say employee get name, and when we run this, let me see if the ground brackets are correct. Yeah, let me run this, and the output is the same, which is the expected output, employees in alphabetically sorted order. Now there is another method in comparator which allows us to have secondary sort criteria and so on. So the first sort criteria, let us keep it as name. So we have D, E, H, T, the starting alphabets of the names: Deborah, Ethan, Harry, Nancy, Tom. I have deliberately kept two Harry majors. Of one is of age 35 and other is of 25. So as you see, the age 35 appears higher than age 25 because that is the way in which, or rather the order in which I have inserted them into the employee list. Now suppose I say that if the employee name is same, then I want a secondary sort order to be applied by the order of their age. In this case, since there are two employees by the name Harry Major, what we need or what we will ask this sorting program to do is that we will ask it to keep the younger Harry Major first. That is, if the names are same, then the objects will be sorted based on their age. So 25 should appear above 35. For doing multiple levels of sort, we can use the newly introduced then comparing method. Let's go and see the API. So there is a new method introduced, which is a default method, then comparing. We'll use the simplest version, which is what we need right now. So the then comparing method is nothing but it takes a comparator as an input, which will be the second or sort order, or let me specify using code, which will be much easier. So when we have comparator.comparing employee.get name, I say then comparing employee get age. So now this list should first be sorted on the basis of name, and then it should be sorted based on the age of the employee if the name is same. So in case of Harry Major, as I said, we need 25 to appear before 35. So we run this, and as expected, it has been sorted based on both the criteria. So name, and then when the name was same, the shorter age is first.